Namaste, Jai Bharat. In Bharat, the Hindu mythology, there is a story of Takshaka biting Parikshit. Parikshit, Taksha is the king of the serpent kingdom. Parikshit went into a kind of chamber which wouldn't let anything go in. Then, so Takshika cannot bite him. So when Parikshit was given some fruits, one small worm was inside the fruit, and that was Takshaka. Of course, then he takes the original form and bites Parikshit. This is the story. Why I said this is, who would wonder or who would ever imagine that pages can explode? Now, many people in this present generation may not know what a pager is. Way back in 90s, how many years back? 40 years, 45, 50 years before. So many people may not know what a pager is. Way back in 90s, before the coming of the cellular phones, pager used to be quite popular in many places. A pager is a small instrument which is little bigger than a matchbox. It has a small display. Now, the kind of pager which came in use earlier in the beginning which I have seen and which I used to be used of is it can send message, not text message at that time. You have a pager number, several digits, I forgot, maybe 10, I forgot. Several digit pages number. Individuals also using pager, they have pager numbers, and what you do is you pick up a phone, land phone, and dial that page number, then you get a confirmation note and put the phone down. Now the person, wherever he is, that is the point, wherever he is, he will get our number displayed on it. The phone from where he was paged used to be called as paged. Then he understands that someone is trying to call him, so he goes to the nearby booth where he puts a coin and calls back. This is a function of pager. So these days no one uses pager because within a very short time, with the pager revolution came the cellular phones revolution. Initially it was very funny, but that time it was really great and useful. Telephones with big antennas and huge sized phones, all those came those days. Now the Hezbollah, I'm talking about Hezbollah, who are a terrorist outfit, sponsored, supported, maintained, created by Iran. But they function in Lebanon. Lebanon is an interesting place. Lebanon was the only Christian country in the Arab world, and initially the Christians were more in number, and the moment the Muslims became more than the Christians, the things changed. Otherwise, Lebanon was the only Arab country with a Christian majority, but those things I think is gone. So this Hezbollah works in Lebanon. Now Hezbollah and the Israel is having a very good relation of gunpowder and fire. The relationship is one that of gunpowder and fire, and most all terrorists and jihadis have this gunpowder and fire relationship with Israel and also with Hindus. This is a phenomenon in the world. Now suddenly, the Hezbollah, they were not using mobile phones because they feared Israel would do something to them through their cellular phones, mobile phones. So they became very smart and they started procuring pagers to communicate one another. And this present day pager, it seems, can send messages, receive and send messages, it seems. So they were using pages. Because I have not seen a pager that can send and receive messages. I have seen only the pager which I just mentioned before. So they were only using pages. And the Hezbollah organization, the outfit, terrorist outfit Hezbollah organization, they have most likely ordered for pages, because pages are not available these days in the market, and there is no paging network service also. They must have ordered a pager from some pager making company. People say that from which place, which company, so that let's not be very particular about it. So they must have ordered and got some pages and distributed among their outfits. They are catered kind of people. Now 300 pages seem to have pages exploded, just all on SL. The modus operandi was something like this. You get a text, you get a message on a pager. All those who try to open that message, their pages exploded, because the opening of the message was triggering an explosion. Now you can't just make an explosion out of the blue. You see our rifle bullets now. You know that rifle bullets are, I'm a veteran, so I know this thing to some extent. The bullets are filled with gunpowder. But how does the gunpowder catch fire? Then people, those who used rifles, they know, or any kinds of such arms, firearms, they know that there's a firing pin. When you skew the trigger, the firing pin which is pulled back very strongly with a spring loaded instrument, bolt we call, inside the bolt it is there, then that pin is released, it goes and hits at the bottom of the bullet, and then the bullet gets fired. Now if you simply hit at the bottom of a gunpowder filled cover which a bullet case, it cannot explode just like that. The gunpowder which is filled in the bullet needs to be initially ignited. Therefore, right at the bottom of the bullet, there is something called as preliminary explosive, which will catch fire when the firing pin hits. After firing around, you take the bullet and see, you will clearly see the firing pin hit mark. The firing pin is not a sharp thing, it's rather blunt at the end, but it hits. So that is how the explosion takes place. Now the question is, how these amazing people, Israel, they accuse Israel, but they said nothing about it. How these amazing people, whoever has done it, managed an explosive mechanism within such a small thing as a pager, and at which stage of the pager's production to it reaches the person concerned, at which point they must have done it. That is a great wonder. Let it remain as a wonder. What we do not know is that we do not know, but it was real mastermind. And then they have triggered the explosion through this message business. So Hezbollah, they are not using cellular phones because of this reason. They are afraid that Israel will do something. They know that Israel will do something, but they still wanted to die. The problem with these people, they don't want to live on the surface of the earth. They think their real life is after death. So they are into all kinds of things. They will do anything to die. It's very difficult to deal with a group of people who think that there is a life after death, where they are promised with all kinds of luxuries, and they will do anything to die, because death becomes their objective. That's the problem with these terrorists. Irrespective of their education, in spite of their acculturization, so called, this is what they do. So there were 300 or odd explosions. The explosions, 9 people died, it seems, and many others are very fatally injured. Now, you see, if you put a pager in your left pocket, it's right on top of your heart. Most people put the phones in the left pocket. And if an explosion takes place there, and if it is sufficiently programmed, you know what will be the result. Some people will put in the pockets, the thighs get destroyed, and most likely the genitals will get destroyed. So, depending on at which part of your body you are carrying this pager, the explosion has done great harm to people. But think about the mind behind it. What an innovative thought, and what a mastermind of making explosions to the terrorists. Such kind of things we normally don't welcome, this kind of explosions. But when it is done to terrorists who are primarily responsible for terror and who would not want peaceful existence, coexistence, tranquil existence, comfortably living human beings, no, these things are not wanted. So with such people, these kind of things happen. We have no sympathies to them. I don't think you can have sympathies with such people who would just do anything to you. And no matter, there's no reason, there's no talk with them, there's nothing. So just imagine that mastermind. At some stage, there are two points. One is where the pages are produced. Second is where the pager reaches the user. Now, between the production to the user, it has to travel a long way, both in time and space. It travels a long way. At some point here, they have those who have done it. So we don't know who has done it. Those who have done this, those who had planned this explosion, had thought out something within the pager, not very easily noticeable. It must be, and can't be big also, etc. They have put the thing in it, inside the pager, without anyone knowing, and they have triggered it through this kind of a message business. Correct message they must give. The moment you open it, the thing will get exploded. So this is a thing that happened. Funny also, many people died also. In spite of all those things, innocents will also die. Why I said in spite of all those things? The pages are made for terrorists. Pages are manufactured for terrorists, and it was distributed to terrorists, and all conducted by terrorists. But still, some people who are not terrorists happen to also become victims. This becomes unavoidable, unfortunately. So this, what do you call this, pager revolution? Let's call this pager revolution. The pager has revolutionized explosion. We'll meet with some other topic again. Till then, Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.